Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, sir. Okay, and good evening, Okay. May I start by asking you to kindly introduce yourself, including your name, your engineering background, your current position, and also your company background. Could you also share how long you have been working in this company?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Adlan bin Ali. I've been working with UTM since 2013. So this is going to be my 13 years in UTM. But I've been working in the industry for 20 years. For 20 years in technical and vocational education and training. But before that, I've worked with electrical contractors as well as manufacturing industry since year 2000. What else?
Okay, for the second question, is engineering ethnic still relevant in today's industrial environment? How does your company approach the distribution of ethnic policy to employee?
Alright. Talking about engineering ethics, basically the difference between engineering ethics and ethics per se is only the implementation wise. Ethics in general could be anything as long as it is ethical manner. However, when we are talking about engineering ethics, then we will be looking into, say for example, engineering design. How do we design ethically? If we do electrical testing, how do we test ethically? Stuff like that. So it's a matter of bringing ethics into engineering practices. That's all. So if you are talking about how do we bring ethics into engineering workplace, then it's gonna be simple. It is still the same with living your life in honesty, living your life with positive attitudes, not tends to lie, fabricate stuff with dishonesty, or even fabricate test results, stuff like that. That's all.
How is engineering ethics implemented in your workplace?
Engineering ethics implement specifically in this particular academic program. I would say the best example would be when we design the question, say for example the examination question for you. The questions will not simply be accepted to be printed and then to be disseminated to you in the examination hall. That particular question will be moderated in several stages. Say for example, this is version 1, final examination question paper. So this version 1 will be moderated by moderator 1. So he or she will provide comments. And then another moderator, moderator 2, will moderate and provide his or her comment. And then you need to take action based on the comments. If the moderator require you to do some modification or corrections, then if it is acceptable, then you have to follow the comments. And then it will go to another moderator. second layer, third layer, stuff like that. So that means that question will not be as what you have prepared on the first version. It's been modified, or corrected. So that is ethics, because they wants to make sure that the question that's given to student is fair, is understandable, is clear, stuff like that. That is one example, one easy example for me that I can share.
Okay, move another question. In your opinion, your view on the Board of Engineering Malaysia (BEM) Code of Conduct.
BEM Code of Conduct.
Yes.
Okay. What do you want me to respond on that?
Your opinion,
Mhm.
Board of Engineering Code Conduct.
Okay. If I were to talk about the COC, Code of Conduct of BM, in terms of academic program accreditation, for example, for our program, this is engineering technology, electrical engineering technology. So it will fall beyond the jurisdiction of the Engineering Technology Accreditation Council by the BM. So if I were to talk about strictly on that, I would say BEM should actively and proactively conduct face-to-face engagement session with their stakeholders. Who is their stakeholders? All academic institution who offers engineering technology program. So why do we need this? Because in order for you to have a solid code of conduct, you must make sure that you built it based on whatever feedback that you receive from your stakeholder. If you feel like, oh, this should be the code of conduct, this should be code of conduct, but you never know how your stakeholder works. How, say for example, University A works. What is the background of University B? What is the constraint of University C? But you want to talk about an ideal code of conduct. That is not going to be fair for certain institution. So you need to bring in as many stakeholders as possible. Bring them on board. Let us talk about code of conduct. Then you will basically be able to produce a good code of conduct, which basically has considered many feedback from many institutions. That is what I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, what is the impact of engineering ethics on your working environment?
Oh, it's huge. It is huge, and also critical. Some, least or maybe many, might disagree with this. This is engineering ethics. Engineering ethics. Say for example, people are talking about electric vehicle. People are talking about producing electricity or generating electricity using renewable energy, mainly solar. Yes, we say this is good. We will not pollute the air by using electric car. We will not pollute the air by not using coal-fired generator. We use solar panel. But have you ever wondered the waste of the PV panel is more than 5 times harmful than nuclear waste? For me, looking from the perspective of engineering ethics, it is not good. I will not support establishing solar panel on my rooftop. No, I will never support. Why? Okay, I will establish, I will basically get them installed, but maybe after 10 years, maybe after 15 years, I don't know the lifetime of the solar panel depending on how do they are manufactured. Once their lifetime is gone, where are you going to dispose them? And remember, the waste of PV panel is more than 5 times harmful than nuclear waste. So, from engineering ethics, I will never recommend, hello Mr., hello Miss, hello Tan Sri, hello Doctor, please use solar panel as your alternative energy. No, I will never recommend that. Yeah. Anything else?
For the next question, benefit of ethnic. What are the benefit of engineering ethnic for both employee and employer?
Employer.
Benefits.
The benefits, eh? The benefits. Okay. It is good in terms of check and balance. But in order for us to achieve that check and balance, we must make sure that especially employee is ready to receive feedback from, employer or company is ready, 100% ready, with open arms, ready to accept any feedback from the employee. If employer or company is not ready to get any feedback from their employee, then it's not going to be check and balance. So even though, say I am the employee and I have my boss, and based on practicing engineering ethics or even ethics, I found that, this situation is not healthy. It's not healthy per se. It's not good, in other words. And I raised my concern to my boss. But if my boss is not ready to get or to receive, to consider any of my feedback, then it's gonna be useless. My boss will say, never mind, it's not important for me. So, yes, having engineering ethics or even ethics in the workplace is very good for both sides, employee as well as employer or the company. But the fact that the company or the boss will hold more responsibility because they have the power to make decision, so they are the first one needs to be ready to receive any feedback, any comment, any suggestion from their sideline, their subordinate. If they're not ready, then it's not going to be meaningful to talk about engineering ethics in the workplace.
Do you have any suggestion to improve the teaching or understanding of engineering ethics? What types of training or exposure would be most beneficial for future engineers?
Right. Having been looking at, I had a skim through on your teaching plan. I believe that one of the recommendation or humble suggestion to be made would be to actually expose students with the contents of those 3 textbooks or 3 laws. One is the Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSHA, and one is FMA, Factories and Machineries Act, and another one is EQA, Environmental Quality Act. So student needs to be exposed with the contents of these laws, these legal documents. That is number one. My humble suggestion number two would be to expose student to practice on how to execute higher. How can they apply their knowledge and understanding on higher into their study place, not workplace, study place. So, and yes, they can do it. If I were given the chance to teach this course, then I will do it that way, because it is very good for students to appreciate what hierarchy is all about, what those OSHA, FMA, and EQA is all about, and they can basically blend them together by knowing the contents of the acts. Then it's gonna be easier for you to make or justify when you do hazard identification. So it is good. That's my suggestion number two. My suggestion number three, to include Electricity Supply Act 1990 and Regulations 1994, Act 447 in the syllabus additional. So that is legal document number 4, because we are electrical people. We need to know what are the legal documents that bind us, that hold us. You should do this, you should not do this, by electrical perspective. So far, I believe in that particular syllabus, the content does not touch on what is the legality in electrical industries. I think, that is basically my humble suggestion for the course.
Okay. Lastly, sir, are there many additional comment or advice you would like to share regarding engineering ethic and it is important in the engineering profession?
In order for us to practice engineering ethics or ethics is not something that we could rely on documents, on papers. It requires bravery, guts, dare, keberanian. So, how do you get these guts? That is important. So, if I were considering as elder and an elder, the elder people for you, I would suggest to my students, whatever, how even you get 100% marks for this course, it's not gonna be useful if you don't dare to practice them. So you need to practice ethics. How? The basic is dare. The basic is bravery. You need to have the courage. You need to have the courage to practice ethics. You find this is ethically wrong, then you need the courage to tell your upline or your boss or your manager, boss, this is not right. Boss, this is ethically wrong. My question once again, do you have the courage? So how do we get the courage? As a Muslim, you must understand who gives you the benefits. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who gives you your salary? Who gives you your promotion? Who gives you wealthy? Who gives you easiness? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who gives you faq? Who gives you harm? Siapa bawa mudarat? Siapa bagi mudarat? Allah. you have to hold with at least one story. Nabi Allah who is the Rasul of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the kafir sent him into the middle of fire to burn him, but Allah has instructed the fire, don't you ever harm my Rasul. Story of which Rasul? Nabi siapa? So get back to history. Raja Namrud, dia memerangi Nabi. He was in fault with which Nabi? Nabi Ibrahim alaihi salam. So he burned Ibrahim alaihi salam in fire. But Allah has instructed Namrud. Allah has instructed the fire. Fire, don't you ever harm my Rasul. So that means if Allah can instruct fire, so that's mean fire adalah makhluk Allah. That's why when whatever it is, when you always make sure yourself is shielded with Islam, with agama, you practice agama, then you'll be safe. You practice Islam, you'll be safe. Islam is not only by saying with your mouth, yes, I'm a Muslim. It's not only by saying the Shahada. You must practice them. Once you practice them, you will have definite courage. No one can bring harm to me except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, I understand this is ethically wrong. So I need to tell my boss, I need to tell my colleague, bro, hey, let us sit down. I found that this is not good for the design. This is not good for the product.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your sharing today.
My pleasure.
We are say very thank you for you and give our time today, and we gonna say end this discussion with doa. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. اللهم اهدنا بالإيمان وأمسنا بالإيمان وأشرنا بالإيمان وأدخلنا الجنة مع الإيمان. اللهم اغفر لنا بحسن الخاتمة ولا تختم لنا يا الله بالسوء الخاتمة. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Subhanallah.